I have a photograph of myself when I was a child. My mother sent me to go up from home, because there was a school in our community, way up. As a young man, I forgot how old I was. But I walked and went over to meet my little sister.
Which one?
The one right over there. And in the picture, I'm sitting down with my hand like, you know, and there's no smile there. And it's a reflection of who I am as a person. Okay? Now, have anyone seen me playing video games before? Let me see your hands. Have you seen me playing video games? I play video games, right? Have you seen me watch movies? Let me see your hands. Do you never see me play video games? What? Adam, I played video games when they were here, right? Okay. Do you all see me crack jokes every once in a while? Is that correct? No? Yes? Okay. So what's wrong? You see, there's a time for everything. Thanks, Elder. There's a time for everything. I know when to clown around, and I also know when not to. Okay? When there's a time for it. However, sometimes people get a little bit comfortable with the clowning. And that takes your mind away from what really is at stake. I can't believe that all the days of Moses, that Moses never smiled. I can't believe that. Or Joshua, or any of them. Yes, they did. But the Most High wanted to record, the seriousness of these men to set the example. If I open the Bible and I see a whole chapter of just cracking jokes, how can I be a set apart people after reading that?
It's nothing written as cracking jokes in the Bible.
You'll find that eventually people will pattern after, because usually people look for little areas, excuses. They look for places that they can use to escape doing what they're supposed to do. Yes, to justify sin or wrong or their occasion. And sometimes there are those who wouldn't mind you being a blunt instrument, being hard, as long as it's not towards them. If someone has offended somebody else, they want you to correct that person. Now when it's their turn for correction, it's hard. It's balance. You have to know. See, Yeshua was always about balance. There was a time he laughed with them. There was a time he cried with them. Right? There was a time that he chastised them. It was balance. So I don't expect anyone to believe that I don't have that balance. Because I don't practice that. I believe in it. Okay? Let's get back into the word. Where did we stop?
There's a 2.
First Samuel 17 and 32. So let's pick it up from there. We're studying about David. That Saul was a coward. His men patterned after him being cowards. So now we have David coming into the picture, and his brothers taunted him. And the people that were hanging out with the brothers tried to put him down. What are you doing here, little brother? This is man's business. Let's get into the text. 1 Samuel 17, verse 32. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with the Philistines. Read on. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against the Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war. So you can see how Saul was trying to put some reality in there. Really, he wasn't wrong. If you're basing your observation or your assessment on observation, you look at the person and you say, okay, you're young. How can you defeat this person? I'm experienced in war, and I understand I've seen too many little people got killed. This is not for you, boy. See? Real quick, and let's try to get some speed in the text, okay?
Samuel faced that same thing earlier when he was looking for the chosen.
Speaking to the mic.
He faced that same situation when he was looking for the anointed one. And the Most High instructed him and says, no, you can't go by the outward appearance.
That's right. The Most High has a way of dealing with his people. Where did you stop?
Verse 34.
34. Go ahead and read.
Verse 34 of 1 Samuel 17. And David said unto Saul, Thy servant kept his father's sheep.
Mm-hmm.
And there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock.
Uh-huh.
And I went out after him, and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. Verse 36. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he had defied the armies of the living God.
Read on.
David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion, and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine.
See, he went from paw, not mouth or jaws, but paw versus hand. The hand, okay? Read.
And Saul said unto David, Go, and the Lord be with thee. And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put an helmet of brass upon his head. Also he armed him with a coat of mail.
Okay. That's where we're supposed to stop there is fine. Okay. Being someone else instead of who the Lord, I should have put, wants you to be will get you killed. Okay, so you touched on a little bit of that. Read 38 again. Read 38 to 40.
And Saul armed David, verse 38, with his armor, and he put a helmet of brass upon his head. Also he armed him with a coat of mail.
Okay.
And David girded his sword upon his armor, and he essayed to go. For he had not proved it.
He had what? Say it again.
For he had not proved it.
He did not prove it. So David knew. He already explained to Saul the type of man that he is. Even though Saul looked at him as a boy, and his brothers looked at him as the little fellow along the way, homeboy, he explained to him what he was capable of doing. But Saul wanted him to be somebody else. The Most High wants to be a certain way. You already tried and tested for this work. The skills that you use to take down the bear, that's what I'm going to use. But Saul had a different course for the young man. And David stood his ground and says, he put on the stuff and he says, hey, this is going to get me killed. I haven't tried it. If you haven't used the sword, if you don't know how to run with this armament on you, if you haven't tried and tested this equipment, you're going to get killed as soon as you reach out. As soon as you raise your sword up, you're going to have to raise it with the speed, and you're going to get yourself killed. That's why it's important for us to be who the Most High called us to be, and not be what someone else wants us to be. Because the people will take the back seat and drive. Like Saul's in the back seat now. He doesn't want to do it himself. Why doesn't the king go out and say, you know what, I'm going to kill you, Goliath. How dare you insult my king, my God. Saul didn't do it. He took the back seat. His men took the further back seat, back of the bus. His brothers say all kinds of insults to him. That's why we have to be, or the leaders have to be, strong men who can listen to what people say and take the criticism and put it down and says, I'm not doing that. That's your opinion. You can stay with your opinion. I'm going to get killed with your opinion. I'm not doing that. Your way will get me killed. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 26. And we'll pick it up at verse 17. After all the good that David had done, he was hunted. Even though he was there for Israel through the good times and the bad times, put his life on the line for Israel, he was not appreciated. They still wanted him dead. Let's go right into the text.
1 Samuel 26, 17 to 25. And Saul knew David's voice and said, Is this thy voice, my son David? And David said, It is my voice, my Lord, O king. And he said, Wherefore doth my Lord thus pursue after his servant? For what have I done? Or what evil is in mine hand? Verse 19, Now therefore I pray thee, let my Lord the king hear the words of his servant. If the Lord have stirred thee up against me, let him accept an offering.
Listen, so he said, if the Most High sent you to kill me, so be it. I'll be the offering, I'll be the sacrifice, whatever. I have no problem with that. But I need to know what's happening here. Okay, read on.
But if they be the children of men, cursed be they before the Lord.
So if it's some other man's intentions to take my life for whatever reasons, they are cursed. But if the Most High is not behind it, it's another story. Continue.
For they have driven me out this day from abiding in the inheritance of the Lord, saying, Go, serve other gods. Now therefore, verse 20.
And that other gods means other powers. You know, go somewhere else. He says, no, I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to honor you as the king. Read.
Verse 20. Now therefore, let not my blood fall to the earth before the face of the Lord. For the king of Israel is come out to seek a flea, as when one doth hunt a partridge in the mountains.
So he acquitted himself as just a tiny speck. Why are you chasing a tiny speck? If I'm so little, why are you bothering yourself with me? You see that? Things was happening on a spiritual level. All right, read on.
Chapter 27, verse 1.
And hold on a second. And when David said this, it actually exercised, it actually showed the heart of Saul. It actually exposed his heart. Why I say that? It revealed that this man was so wicked that he must get that little speck, no matter what it takes. A bird in the mountain, one little bird. I'm going to travel. I'm going to do whatever it takes until I get that bird. It's like that movie called with the French movie, Les Miserables. Les Miserables, the guy couldn't rest until he, is either I die or the guy died. And he ended up taking his own life. Same thing with Saul, Shaul. Read.
1 Samuel 26, verse 21. Then said Saul, I have sinned. Return my son David, for I will no more do thee harm, because my soul was precious in thine eyes this day. Behold, I have played the fool, and have erred exceedingly. Verse 22. And David answered and said, Behold, the king's spear, and let one of the young men come over and fetch it. The Lord render to every man his righteousness and his faithfulness. For the Lord delivered thee into my hand today. But I would not stretch forth mine hand against the Lord's anointed. Verse 24. And behold, as thy life was much set by this day in mine eyes, so let my life be much set by in the eyes of the Lord, and let him deliver me out of all tribulation. Then Saul said to David, Blessed be thou, my son David. Thou shalt both do great things, and also shalt still prevail.
So we have a Esau and Jacob situation. The two met, But Jacob realized that even though I spare this man life, this man will not leave me alone. He's bent on destroying my life. He even proven, David proven, I got your sword. You're not even safe. But yet, I exposed that you want to have my life. But David said, and this is the key point that I want you all to focus on, I will not do what? Lay my hands, stretch forth my hand against the Lord's anointed. I will do what I got to do. I will stay out of the way, but I respect the office. Even though Saul doesn't respect the office, doesn't mean that we should disrespect Saul. That's the problem with our people. They have a few more scriptures in their mind, and therefore they got more understanding of the Lord's order of business. That doesn't work. Let's go down to verses, chapter 27 and 1.
Chapter 27, verse 1. And David said in his heart, I shall now perish one day by the hand of Saul. There is nothing better for me than that I should speedily escape into the land of the Philistines.
I'd rather go to my enemy's house and live in peace than the enemy that is closer to me. Read. And
Saul shall despair of me, to seek me any more in any coast of Israel. So shall I escape out of his hand.
All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 8, verses 28 to 34. Sometimes what people are looking for in a leader, a minister, is one that is disposable. As long as you can do what I say to do and get what I want done, as I mentioned before, if someone has a problem with another one, they would love you very much to be a branding iron or fire to correct the wrong person. Now when the tide turns and it's their turn to receive correction, you can't talk to me. You see, that's the problem. So now you become disposable. I'm only good when it's convenient for you, and when you disagree, I'm your enemy. Matthew 8.
Matthew 8, 28 to verse 34. And when he was come to the other side into the country of Gergesin, there met him two possessed with devils.
Give me some energy, Kifa.
Coming out of the tombs, exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by that way.
Okay.
And behold, they cried out, saying, What have we to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time? And there was a good way off from them, as herd of many swines feeding. Verse 31. So the devil besought him, saying, If thou cast us out, suffer us to go away into the herd of swine.
So you're talking about demon-possessed people, persons, right? Read on.
Verse 32. And he said unto them, Go, and when thou wert come out, they went into the herd of swine. And behold, the whole herd of swine ran violently down a steep place into the sea, and perished in the waters. And they that kept him fled, and went their ways into the city, and told everything, and what was befallen to the possessed of the devils. And behold, the whole city came out to meet Jesus.
What did they do?
And when they saw him, they besought him, and he would depart out of this.
Read it again. They besought him.
Besought him that he would depart out of their coast.
All right, time for you to pack it up and get out of here. You just perform a miracle by freeing this man from a bad situation, slavery, demonic slavery. And as soon as he's finished with the job, they wanted him to get out of town. Pack up and go. Pack up and go. You see that? So you're only useful for the healing, laying of hands, prayer at night. But when it comes around to the other part of it, that's it. You have already done your job, now you can go, priest. I got no need for you. Let's go to our next slide. Deuteronomy 17, verses 8 to 13. Actually, just pick it up. Sorry, 11.
Let's continue. According to the sentence of the law, which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall shew thee to the right hand, nor to the left.
Mm-hmm.
And the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before the Lord thy God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and thou shalt put away the evil from Israel.
Verse 13.
And all the people shall hear and fear, and do no more presumptuously.
So the priest gave the sentence for the situation. You could have handled that thing at home, but now it's out to the priest. You take it to the court. They're dealing with the situation. They're teaching you, they're instructing you from the law. And according to the judgment which they shall tell you, what did he say? You pick and choose. You decide to do your own thing. What does it say? Anyone see it on the screen? Because I'm asking a question. Am I getting a response?
Do it.
What does it say?
Thou shalt do.
You shall do.
I do, you shall do.
This sounds like
Well,
just information to a lot of our people. But to put this into practice is like pulling teeth. You got to give the anesthesia, and you got to come correct in the mouth. Whatever that they say you shall do, you shall not decline from the sentence which they shall show you to the right hand or to the left. So you say, but you know, I got a scripture. Yeah, you tell me this over here, but I got a scripture over here that says, I can do this. The Bible doesn't say that. The Bible doesn't say for you to go look for a scripture to sneak out through the back door. Because that's exactly, when you don't like the sentence that the priests say, now all of a sudden, you want to find a way out. But if you presumptuously, that man that will do presumptuously, beforehand, right? Sumptuously, and will not hearken, not listen to the priest, like make up their mind, like, I hear you, but I don't, I already made up my mind. Just finish doing what you got to do so I can go my way. That standeth to minister there before the Lord your God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die. And you shall put away the evil from Israel. And all the people shall do what? Hear and fear and do again.
No.
Continue with the same problem.
no way.
That is the reason why our people continue to do what they want and feel like doing. Because when you make room for slackness,
That's why they
see, when the king found a scroll, when they discovered they were rebuilding the temple and they saw the scroll and they brought it back, they wept because they had something to really get themselves back in order. We can understand when you have nothing and you're out of order, but when you have something to work with, because you've been there and done that, now you have a new start, and what you're doing, you're slacking off. You're playing around with it. The Most High doesn't like that. And so he'll make an example of you. Let's go to our next slide. You're going to see why this picture is up. Well, let's go to the book of Kings, 1 Kings chapter 22. The slide will make a lot of sense as we go through it. First Kings 22. Let's read from verses 1.
1 Kings 22, verse 1. And they continued 3 years without war between Syria and Israel. And it came to pass in the 3rd year that Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, came down to the king of Israel. Verse 3, and the king of Israel said unto his servant, Know ye that wrote in Gilead is ours,
Is ours.
and we be still, and take it not out of the hand of the king of Syria.
So Israel got some. Israel is the northern kingdom, the 10 tribes. Judah is the southern kingdom, right? So Judah came up and was there with Israel, and they were going through some things pertaining to Syria, okay? The war between Syria and Israel. Read on.
And he said unto Jehoshaphat, Wilt thou go with me to battle to Ramoth Gilead?
Gilead.
And Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, I am as thou art, my people as thy people, my horse as thy horse.
So they was going to join together to fight against Syria. Are you going to go with me? Are we going to be together as one? He says, yeah, we'll go together. No problem. Read on.
And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, Inquire, I pray thee, at the word of the Lord today.
Okay, you see that? Now he's saying, listen, let's go get the priest involved in this thing, because we're not making a move without the priest.
That's where I go.
Let's operate according to the instructions, because this is a life and matter situation. It's not no easy stuff. Let's go get the priest involved in this council before we make a move. Inquire, I pray thee, for the word of the Lord today. Read verse 6.
Verse 6 of chapter 22, 1 Kings. Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, about 400 men,
Read up, keep on, your voice is going down.
and said unto them, Shall I go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, Go up, the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king.
How can you go around with 400 prophets? That is excellent counsel. But 400 is an interesting number, because 4, as you all know in Hebrew, pertains to trials and tests and temptation. It was a test. Read on.
And Jehoshaphat said, Is there not here a prophet of the Lord besides, that we might inquire of him?
Is there anybody who is not part of this convention of prophets, 400 strong, that disagree? I would like to hear what he has to say. Because everybody, 400 people agreed, and not one in the middle here saying not to go. I'm a little bit concerned about that. Because there's no balance. There's no balance. They're all prophets. You should say, okay, they're prophets. It's a done deal. Can't go wrong. But there must be at least someone to give me some understanding. Read on.
And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, There is yet one man, Micah, the son of Imlah, by whom we may inquire of the Lord. But I hate him.
But what?
But I hate him.
I don't like this man. I hate him. Why?
For he doth not prophesy good concerning me.
When it comes to my side, he has nothing good to say. Oh, he doesn't say the things that I like to hear. So we can't use him. You see how things work? Sooner or later, you're going to realize what this is up for.
Amen.
They don't like what the man has to say, so that we don't use him. We have a special group, certified prophets. These prophets have passed the test of prophecy. They have a union, prophets union. They pay their dues. They all come together. But this other guy, he's a renegade prophet. He follows the way of the Most High. Remember the question was, is there anyone from the Lord? Read on.
For he doth not prophesy good things concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said, Let not the king say so.
Why are you saying that? Read.
Verse 9. The king of Israel called an officer and said, Hasten hither, Micah, the son of Imlah. And the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, sat each on his throne, having put on their robes, in a void place in the entrance of the gates of Samaria. And all the prophets prophesied before them. And Zedekiah, the son of Chenah, made him horns of iron. And he said, Thus saith the Lord, With these shalt thou push the Syrians until thou have consumed them.
So he showed horns as this, this is going to be a great battle. This is how we're going to defeat them. Read.
And all the prophets, verse 12, prophesied so, saying, Go up to Ramoth Gilead, and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into the king's hands.
Read.
Verse 13, and the messenger that was gone to call Micah spake unto him, saying, Behold, now the words of the prophets declare good unto the king with one mouth.
Say something good, like all the other prophets are saying. Now that you're here, speak good like the other prophets.
Word.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let thy word, I pray thee, be like the word one of them, and speak.
So now you have the king is telling the man of the Most High what to do. Read.
And speak that which is good. And Micah said, As the Lord liveth, what the Lord saith unto me, that will I speak.
What did he say?
What the Lord saith unto me, that will I speak.
And that's the problem. The problem is when it comes to the word, no one wants to hear the word of the Most High. But you see, the target is the one who's speaking. This prophet was a target. But the words that came out of his mouth was not his own. It was the Most High's word. So when you despise the word that comes out of the man the Most High anointed for a job, you despise the Most High. And then you want to say, well, he's just a man. He's just a man. What about all these 400 deacons and pastors and bishops, evangelists and so forth? But you're nobody. You're living in the bushes. You're a little nobody. They won't listen to a person like that. Because the wisdom that comes out, they don't want to live by that. Read on.
Verse 15. So he came to the king, and the king said unto him, Micah, shall we go against Ramoth of Gilead to battle? Or shall we forbear?
Shall we retreat or shall we advance? Read.
And he answered him, Go and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. And the king said unto him, How many times shall I endure thee that thou tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of the Lord?
Read on.
And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills.
So he knows this man wasn't speaking straight to him. He says, go ahead, whatever you want, go ahead. So he recognized he was playing them for a fool. Aren't you supposed to be telling me the truth? Then he came out and told them the truth. I saw all Israel dead on the hillside. Dead. You want me to speak the truth? Are you ready for the truth? You can handle the truth. Read on, Tifa.
Verse 17, and he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills, as sheep that have not a shepherd. And the Lord said, These have no master. Let them return every man to his house in peace. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, Did I not tell thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me, but evil? And he said, Hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him, on the right hand and on his left.
Read.
And the Lord said, Who shall persuade Ahab, and he may go, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth of Gilead? And one said on this matter, and another said on that matter. And there came forth a spirit, and stood before the Lord, and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth.
So who was the king that didn't want to hear what the prophet had to say? What was his name? Ahab. You see, if you notice, it doesn't say anything about Ahab before. We're just reading, it just says Jehoshaphat. You got to read the chapter before. So the Most High, when it says host, it's meaning this is a military term. It's a military reference to the Most High. That his angels are there like warriors. And some of them are spies to confuse the armies. So they ask, well, who wants to go and be a lion spirit to Ahab the king? Because, you know, he wants to defy my word. Okay, read on.
And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lion spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail.
Wait a minute, Kifa. He will be a lion spirit to who? Read.
And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lion spirit in the mouth of all his prophets.
You see how it works. Ahab trusted the prophets. It didn't say I'll be a lion spirit to Ahab. But he's going to go and cause confusion to Ahab through the prophets. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. The Most High is still operating by the protocols which he established.
Amen.
The king receives the word from the prophets, the priests. It has to go according to the order. If we don't understand this order, we are doomed. We think we want to supersede the way of the Most High, only to find ourselves in deeper trouble. Broke, afflicted in spirit, all kinds of problems. Why? Because we have our own opinion. So the Lord uses the prophets, and he says, I'm going to put a lion spirit in those prophets. And because he's listening to the prophets anyway. Go ahead. Read on, keep up.
Thou shalt persuade him, and prevail also. Go forth, and do so. Verse 23. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lion spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee. But Zedekiah the son of Chenaanah went near.
What verse are you on?
Verse 24.
Tell you what, let's skip that. Let's go down to verses, let's jump down to 32.
1 Kings 22, verse 32.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, that they said, surely it is the king of Israel.
So they saw Jehoshaphat, which is from Judah, but they thought it was the Ahab. Read.
And they turned aside to fight against him. And Jehoshaphat cried out. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariot perceived that it was not the king of Israel, that they turned back from pursuing him.
So the Most High put a mark on Ahab to take him out. So Jehoshaphat is moving along. And when they heard his voice and the commands, he says, no, wait. Judah doesn't run like that. Israel runs different. That doesn't sound like, no. Let's turn around. We got the wrong king. Read on.
Verse 34. And a certain man drew a bow at a venture and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. Wherefore he said unto the driver of his chariot, turn thine hand and carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. Mm-hmm. And the battle increased that day, and the king was stayed up in his chariot against the Syrians, and died at even.
See, the head was cut off. The head of Israel was cut off. Therefore, all the sheep scattered. Read.
And the blood ran out of the wound into the midst of the chariot. And there went a proclamation throughout the host about the going down of the sun, saying, every man in his city and every man in his own country.
37. Read on to 38 and you can stop there.
So the king died and was brought to Samaria, and they buried the king in Samaria. And one washed the chariot in the pool of Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood.
That's a disgrace. Read.
And they washed his armor according unto the word of the Lord, which he spake.
All right. Now, remember the man said, he asked about who will tell me the truth. What do you do with dice? You roll it, but what do you do with dice? What do you call playing with dice?
Chance.
Chance.
Gamble.
Gamble. And you'll continue throwing the dice until what?
Number you want.
You get the number you want. You get what you're looking for. So, that prophet showed up and gave them what they wanted. But it wasn't the true thing. He fixed it. And then the king says, listen man, look, you are a good pair of dice. I'm going to roll you one more time. And I'm going to see what comes out. When he rolled, he spoke the truth. Sometimes people want to roll the dice to get the answer that they're looking for. They want that prophet or priest to be like Aaron. Whatever the people want, we're going to give it to them.
Smooth things.
Smooth things. You see that? Let's go to our next slide. Ezekiel chapter 3, verses 4.
And he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech, and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people of a strange speech, and of a hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee.
If I send you to another country, they'll listen to you. But I'm sending to your own people that know you. At least they should be able to give you that much. Read.
But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee.
But even though they're your own people, even though they are your own people, they will not listen to you. They're hard-headed people. Read on.
For they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted.
See that? Let's go to our next one.
Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and their forehead strong against their foreheads.
And your forehead strong against their foreheads. Okay.
Thy forehead.
Read.
Read it again.
Read it again.
Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads.
Go ahead.
As an adamant harder than flint have I made thy forehead.
Your mind, your thoughts, you can resist them. Your head is stronger. Your will, determination is stronger than them. I made you to be strong that you will not be easily swayed in judgment. It's a hard thing to bring judgment. Just imagine what it was like for a soldier to go and look at a little baby that's crying and have to take that baby's life because the Most High said to do so. And you're looking at that child and you remember you have a little child at home about the same age, or a wife looking almost like that young lady you're about to take out with a sword. And in your mind, you have to have a determined spirit to resist your sight and the cries of what you hear. And just do what the Most High say to do. Because the Most High knows what He's doing. Every time we think that we know something, every time that we think that we can do something of our own, thank you, we mess it up. Because a lot of times it looks like the victory has been won, like your decision was a good one. So Ahab was thinking, I'm doing okay. But then all of a sudden, when you hang out long enough and you see the words of the Most High comes true. Yeah. So you're thinking that just because I made my decision, not the Most High's instruction, and everything is going okay, bills are being paid, cars, everything is going great, that you're thinking, oh, I guess I escaped the storm. Most High says, hold on, the rope hasn't finished yet. There's still more rope to hang you. So go ahead and play the fool. Do whatever you think. You're thinking you got it good. Yeah, the pastor told you this. Yeah, that one told you that. Everything, all the people that favors you is going to tell you what you want to hear. But not my word. My word says, thus saith the word of the Most High. I will never change from that.
Yeah, amen.
Verse 9 again. As an adamant harder than flint have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks.
At their what?
At their looks.
At their looks. Our eyes deceive us. Read.
Though they be a rebellious house.
Verse 17. Jump down to 17.
Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth.
No, wait a minute. Son of man, the people have made you a watchman.
No.
I, the Most High, have made thee.
Therefore, hear those people's mouth.
No.
What they got to say. Is that what he's saying?
No.
What does it say? Tell me.
The Lord.
Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me.
You know, there's a reason why that prophet Micah was living far from everybody else. He didn't want to be part of that mess. He stayed away from all of that. But when you bring him out, that's why it says, you're going to go to the priest, right? You make sure you listen to what the priest say. Otherwise, you're going to drop dead. So the priest give you the word. You don't like what he has to say. You decide to do your own thing. You presumptuously in your heart. We read that in the Torah. What happened to Ahab is according to what the Torah said. He presumed to have a better understanding and he got killed. And those that are confederate almost lost their life. And I'm sure Jehoshaphat was saying, my goodness, I was joining up with a man who was marked for death. That's why we can't be yoked with certain people. Because they will sway us in a certain direction.
Yep.
And next thing, we will be losing our life with them. Jonathan found out the hard way. He was faithful to his father. Yes, that's true. But there's a high price for error. Read.
How do I know many don't believe it?
Yeah, how do I know that many don't believe this? Because they don't practice it. They don't practice it. You just look at things. You see, when a person like myself, and I'm speaking, remember I said from the beginning, this is all about me explaining my position, my character. Say certain things. Oh, you're offending people. You're making people mad. Okay. When you go to the doctor, gynecologist, and they tell you as a woman, or you go to a male doctor, or whatever it is, and they tell you to strip down and do this and do that, you're not offended by that? No, you do whatever they tell you to do with no problem, no offense whatsoever. And all I'm speaking is the word of the Most High, and people are so sensitive. Aren't you sensitive going into that doctor's office? And having them put their hands where your husband alone is supposed to touch? Huh? You're not offended by that? Think again, brothers and sisters. Let's go to our next slide. Ezekiel 33, verses 30 to verses 32. Verse 30, read.
Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee.
Oh, yes.
By the walls and in the doors of the houses.
On the cell phone.
And speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord.
Let's come to be entertained. This is not strange to you. Everyone knows this, because we've talked about this before. But they continue to speak. You know, they have their conversations every once in a while. They talk back and forth as far as what the man of God is all about. They do so. Don't you think that the Most High hears the conversation and already marked certain things up? Just because you haven't dropped dead doesn't mean to say the Most High doesn't have a plan. We have to be very careful. Read on.
And they come unto thee as the people cometh.
They will come as your brother and your sister.
And they sit before thee as my people.
And fellowship together as my people.
And they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they shew much love, but their heart goeth with their covetousness.
Whatever they decide, presumptuousness, covetousness, whatever they want to do, they do it because their heart is set to do mischief. not the word of the Most High. But there's a cover. It's called love. Pretense. Pretense is just a good word for hypocrisy or people who pretend to love. Okay? Read.
Verse 32. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not.
When the message is about something else, let's say I found out John the Baptist had 3 ears instead of 2. And I found something secret in the Bible. John the Baptist had 3 ears. So all of a sudden, wow, let's get into that. But when you bring this kind of message, people get offended. What's the problem? If it's not for you, don't be offended. Huh? Let's go to our next slide. 2 Chronicles chapter 36, 15 to 17. Go ahead and read it.
And the Lord God of their fathers sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes and sending, because he had compassion on his people.
The Most High had compassion, that's why he chose certain people to bring some understanding. Had you not had those people in your life, you will not have the understanding.
That's right.
Read on.
Because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place.
Read.
But they mocked the messengers of God, and despised his words, and misused his prophets, until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people, till there was no remedy.
When the Most High gets to that point, that boiling point, there's no turning back. There's nothing you can do at that point. When Miriam said, I'm a prophetess too. I was at the mountain too. I was there with you too. I was there too. It's always a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. A 2 starts off with the 2. The Most High says, okay, I have something for you. It's called leprosy. Let's see how you're going to deal with that prophetess. You didn't see that coming, huh? You think being a prophetess is because of title, or because what I give you to know when I need you to know it? So go ahead. See if you can find your way around this problem. It says that if let's leave that alone. Let's leave it alone. So the Most High dealt with her. She was put out for a time. She got herself right and she came back. Did you ever hear anything from her again after that? No.
I'm not sure.
You never hear anything after that. We live in an age and time where people are so opinionated that their opinion overrides the word of the Most High. They think they know it so well. You can't show them nothing. Everything you show them is beneath them. The Most High have something. So therefore, they misuse. You become despised. They mock the messengers of the Most High. Let's go to the next slide. Isaiah 30, verses 9 to 11.
Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people.
What?
Lying children. Children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not.
I don't want you to show or expose anything. Read.
Look the other way. And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceits.
See? Give us what we want to hear. And you just come on back. When you're ready, good and ready to tell us what we want to hear, we'll hear you. We respect you as a pastor, but you're not preaching what I want to hear. So you go back and you keep practicing. As a matter of fact, I'll send you some video links so you can watch Benny Hinn. Or maybe like T.D. Jakes, that you can deal with the emotions of people. Woman, thou art loose mentality. And therefore, now you can come back and be accepted. See, David started off as a shepherd boy who stood for righteousness. And he died a shepherd who stood for righteousness. Did you see how his life was? He only had that one issue. He repented from that. And the Most High forgave him and worked with him. But some of us will never even overlook a half a problem. You have a man who has served the Most High faithfully, and he sneezed too hard. Oh, that's it. We have to get him out. Get him out now. Let's get somebody else in. We don't like that. Be careful, loved ones. Be careful.
Verse 11.
Verses 11 read.
Get you out of the way. Turn aside out of the path. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us.
See that? Get out of the way. You go aside. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Because once the light is turned off, that's it. You're in darkness. Let's go to our next slide. Smooth words, as you saw before, is another reference to lies. Y'all got the text?
Yeah, good.
Okay. Smooth words is just another way of saying speak lies. Sirach 20, verses 24. Let's see what it says.
A lie is a foul blot in a man, yet it is continually in the mouth of the untaught.
A lie is a foul blot in a man, a stain, something that stinks, rotten bowels. See that? That's what a lie is. Yet it is continuing in the what?
Mouth of the untaught.
Smooth words. Smooth words. Let's go to our next slide. Smooth words are lies. Sirach 20 and 29.
Presents and gifts blind the eyes of the wise, and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove.
Gifts, presents and gifts can cause people, men to sway. As soon as you see the jewelry, you see the gold, you see the checks, you see the money orders, you see all kinds of cash rolling in now.
Buy them out.
You buy the priest out so you can get the priest on your side. Or you cook him a good meal or whatever it is, buy him clothing. The Most High says no. Because that's how it operates. That's the world that I have seen beforehand. It turns judgment from the way it's supposed to be. I remember as a child listening to this song, Can't Buy Me Love, by the Beatles. Money can't buy me love. Money cannot buy me love. You can't buy the prophets of the Most High. You can't cause them to shut their eyes, their ears, and their mouth. But that's what presents and gifts do. They blind you. That you cannot operate the way the Most High wants you to operate. So if anyone thinks that they can buy me out or anything like that, I'm sorry. You get a chance to learn this person who is speaking to you. I'm a different kind of a person. I will continue to speak the truth even if it stings. Y'all know what it's like to go to the doctor and they put that alcohol on you and you scream out. But guess what? It's a doctor, you trust him. You think he's more educated. Most of the times, you don't even realize the doctors are experimenting on you. Do you know there's a reason why they want to weigh you and check your height? Because they need to know the averages of how long it takes for this thing to work. Because they deal with calculations, experiments to see, well, if I do this, it'll take about an hour for it to go through the bloodstream and it'll kill such and such, blah, 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 and so forth. So they weigh you, check your pressure, and see the pressures to see how the blood flows, how it moves through the body. They don't know anything, but you trust them because of titles. See? But when it comes to the man of the Most High, the one who is bringing the word, it's a different story altogether. You only trust him when he pleases you well, when he tickles your ears. Let's go to the next one. That's it. Let's take this verse, Sirach 21 and 20. We'll take a few more verses and then we're going to close. Sirach 21 and 20. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha 21 and 20. I remember years ago, a brother came to visit us, and After the service, he pulled me aside and says, brother, I have never seen so many scriptures in all my life. I says, brother, what are you talking about? Man, you really put a lot of scriptures out there. So, you know what he was telling me basically? He was telling me he doesn't get feed.
Starving.
They just give him a little stuff, they build a whole ship out of 3 nails and 1 piece of wood.
Malnutrition.
He's not accustomed to that. So people that are not accustomed to discipline will find this as an offense to them. It's uncomfortable. 21 and 20, read for me.
Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus 21 and verses 20.
Uh-huh.
A fool lifteth up his voice with laughter,
Uh-huh.
but a wise man doeth scarce smile a little.
See that? You can tell the difference. Why don't you laugh? Blah, blah, blah. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Am I supposed to? Says who? Huh? Am I supposed to operate on the mood? When it gets cold outside, I'm supposed to turn cold. When it gets hot, I'm to turn hot?
Nope.
Or am I supposed to maintain my course? Huh?
Yep.
People are looking at you. You're not smiling. What happened? Read that again.
A fool lifteth up his voice with laughter, but a wise man doeth scarce smile a little.
Thus saith the word of the Most High. Numbers 12 and 3. Numbers 12 and 3. You want to see the white of my teeth. That's all you want. Is smile. You know, many years ago I played in a little show, church show, as a character called Pastor Boogaloo. It's on tape. And I was basically mocking the life of the oversized minister. You know, the one that wipes their forehead with the rag all the time, sweating. And you know what? Even the minister of the church was laughing. It was fun for him. They love that kind of stuff. But when I started to teach, they hated that. So the comic is acceptable. We had a crowd of people. But the truth speaker is not accepted. There's no way you can speak in this place. But you can come to sing for us, and you can come to perform like a monkey or a fool. But when you speak the word of the Most High, we don't want to hear that. It does something to the heart. They hate that stuff. I have done those things deliberately. Let me explain what I mean by that. Micah played the fool to reveal the foolish king to prove equity, to show that the man was only interested in one thing, smooth words. So when I performed that act, I didn't do it just to make them laugh. I did it to see the atmosphere of the people. I never said that to anyone. So they think that it's all a game and gimmick, but there's wisdom behind the things that I do. Let's go to the text.
Numbers chapter 12 verses 3. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth.
Moses was a meek man. When you hear the word meek, what comes to mind?
Modest.
Modest. Quiet. Serious.
A person that,
Stupidish.
no,
A
person that has power in check.
Who has a
Control.
well, so many of y'all in the room have smartphones. Do a search for me. Look for the word meek. What does that mean? I like the definition, please. Someone give me the definition for the word meek.
Coming right now.
I need to hear. I don't want to hear opinions. Give me the definition.
The word meek means having or showing in quiet or gentle nature.
Quiet and gentle.
Not wanting to fight or argue with other people.
So he was a kind of a guy where he don't want to rock the boat too much. And people take that for weakness. Moses was the same one who told Israel to go grab the swords and kill. The same one that stroked the rock and says, shall we, and because of that, cause him to be left out. Read.
It says, righteous, humble, teachable, patient under suffering, willing to follow teaching or attributes.
So you got all the characteristics of the word meek. All right? So now, but I'm showing this, I want this word, this text to go out because I want to show that Moses was balanced. He listened, but he also acted accordingly. Okay? But some people can't see the balance. All they can see, they want you to be one way all the time. They don't see the balance. Okay? Let's go to Sirach 32 and 15, and I got one more after that, and we're done. Sirach 32 and 15.
Ecclesiastes 32 and 15. He that seeketh the law shall be filled therewith, but the hypocrite will be offended thereat.
Read it again for me, please.
He that seeketh the law shall be filled therewith.
The people who come to the table, they make room to receive the word. It's not, they come hungry for the word. When you come with a hunger, you don't have time to vomit anything.
Nope.
But if you're already filled up with stuff and you pretend that you come to the table and you want to look around the room and act like you're really eating, you're forcing the food to go into you, you're going to vomit it. Read it again for me.
He that seeketh the law shall be filled therewith, but the hypocrite will be offended thereat.
They're going to vomit it. They will be offended at the word. They can't stand up the word. I don't blame them. Right? A brother once wisely told me, I'd rather go into the world and be the best in the world, best sinner in the world, than to be a hypocrite among these people. I've seen this for too long, and I cannot continue to live my life as a hypocrite. I respected the brother's words. He left the church. He no longer wanted to do anything with church. And I had the greatest respect for that brother. I actually shook his hand. Why? Because he was honest. I'd rather an honest sinner than a lying so-called Israelite. Let's go to Matthew 13 and 21. Matthew 13 and 21.
Matthew 13 and verses 21.
People get so offended, so touchy-feely. You can't even bring the word. You have to send out an email and show them what you're going to preach about first, and then they'll decide if they're going to come or not, or whether we're going to listen to the word or not. Let's look at the text. What is he talking about? That's not for me. I don't feel like I'm not going to stop and I'll have takeout. That's not the kind of food that I'm looking for. I want yogurt. I want filet mignon. I want some glass of red wine. He's not giving me that. He's giving me a purge. He's giving me a purge. I can't take no purge. What are you giving me? Greens? Greens and more greens. Greens.
Salad.
Purge. That's what you're trying to do to me. You're trying to purge me out, huh? I don't want to see that coming out so quick. I want to sit back and savor the steak and slice my meat. That's what they want. So they say, what are you teaching? Brother, are you teaching such and such? Then when you check, you can't even find them. You don't see them. But you talk about something that they are interested in, and they will call all their friends. Hey, guess what? We're talking about such and such. We're talking about such and such. And they will crowd up the lines. Why? Because they're bringing people just like them to come and listen. But when you're talking about correction, who wants to show up to get a whooping? Do you?
Smooth words.
Huh? Castor oil. What? Mama's going to give you castor oil? I'm going to hide. I'm going to go under the bed. Let's get that text. Matthew 13 and 21.
Matthew 13 and verse 21. Yet hath he not root in himself.
He has what?
He hath not root in himself.
The person has no roots in themselves. They are top heavy.
No foundation.
Big log of a tree. Big branches. And when you look at their feet, they have tiny feet. You just touch them. You just
Repeat over.
You just blow on that tree and it just capsizes over. Read that again, brother.
Yet hath he not root in himself,
No root in himself.
but dureth for a while.
He can stay up once the weather is perfect. No breeze is blowing. The sun is at the right angle, right temperature. There's no animals coming around. His little tiny feet can keep that big tree up. Read that again, brother.
Yet hath he not root in himself, but dureth for a while.
He could hang out for a while until
For when tribulation or persecution ariseth,
when the wind blow and everything, the animals start to come and piss on the tree, and you don't like that piss on the tree, go ahead.
because of the word, by and by,
Because of what?
because of the word,
Because of the word, by and by, the word, every time, keep getting word, read.
by and by he is offended.
He's what?
Offended.
He's offended. And what happens? Is that it?
Yes.
He's offended. I'll tell you what, read on this a little bit more.
He also that received seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. But he that received seed unto the good ground is he that heareth the word, and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit, and bringeth forth some 100-fold, some 60, some 30.
I get emails all the time of how the work has reached people's lives. They're not around me like you are. So they don't have this emotional thing that they have to deal with. All they're getting is a plain word. So, emotion, take that out of the picture. But when they listen to the word, see, the reason why the Most High says for the priests not to judge according to sight and things like that, it's because that's an emotional part of your being.
Yeah.
But that's why when you go to the courts, they show you a justice lady, the statue. She's blind. She has a blindfold over her eyes, and she has a pair of balances in her hand. That means she's not judging based on her sight. She's judging based on righteousness, law. And that's how we ought to be. If my movements, whatever it is, sounds a certain way, look at the words. What is he talking about? Is there something that I need to work on in my life? Is there something that I need to examine? And just do that. Because the same brother who chastises you tomorrow will give you a kiss the next day. Because that's how he is. Okay?
Man.
I don't muster up and put in bank accounts vengeance and anger and frustration. I don't do that. I deal with things accordingly. I let time allow its course. That's how we are to be. Moses went through the same ordeal with his people. All of the men of the scripture, times when Elijah had to run, and then times when Elijah was quiet and at peace. That's the way of our people. We need to wake up and try our best and understand this way. The way of the Gentiles is just feel good. Now, how can you be a people if all you get is flowers and perfume? Come on, that's not going to make you strong. Anyway.
I'll read verse 57.
57? Okay.
Verse 57. And they were offended in him. But Yeshua said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house.
That's right. So when it comes to our own house, it's difficult to get the honor and the respect that's due. That's why I will not raise my heel against any anointed minister of the Most High, whatever that he has done or has continued to do. I respect him and I leave them be. Let the Most High deal with that person. Gamaliel wisely told the council in Israel, if these people are for the Most High, you will be fighting, or if the Most High is for these people, let me rephrase that. If the Most High is for these people, you will be fighting against heaven itself. But if he's not for them, they will fall by themselves. Leave them alone. What are you getting so excited about? So by this I say shalom.